Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Dental Up Podcast, brought to you by Keating Dental Arts, a full-service, award-winning dental laboratory. Each week, you'll learn tips and techniques from real-world dentists, bringing you in-depth interviews, motivating stories, current events, and sports. Here's your host, Sean Keating.
Hey everyone, Sean here. Welcome to another episode of the Dental Up Podcast. Our guest this week is a graduate from Boston University, where she received a bachelor's degree in chemistry. She's also a graduate from the University of Pennsylvania School of Dental Medicine, where she received her Doctor of Dental Medicine degree. She completed a postgraduate program in advanced general dentistry at UCLA School of Dentistry and completed a 10-month comprehensive aesthetic residency at the Aesthetic Professionals in Tarzana, California. Currently practicing from West Hollywood, California. Please welcome Dr. Tiffany DuShane Dmd. How's it going, Dr. DuShane?
It's going great. How are you today? I'm so glad to be on this today.
That's so cool, man. I know we're waiting for you to get back from lunch, man. I was all biting at the bit, man. It's World Series tonight, baby. We got to get there. No, it's pretty cool. You came. Thank you. I know how busy you are and appreciate the work you send us. And I know you're new with us, but hopefully we're doing okay, and I hope we can try a bunch of different cases with you to show you how really awesome we are. But again, thank you so much. But I always start off talking a little bit about sports. Man, you're in Hollywood right there. I mean, you got to be hearing about LeBron and all that. You guys into the Lakers at all, or the World Series coming up with the Dodgers? I mean, you guys got it all right there.
We do. We are very fortunate. Dodgers is big and on the screen at home this past week and a half, and it will continue.
That's so cool. I can't believe they won it there at that last game. And heck, last year we were just talking, how they were Game 7 of the World Series, I think it was, and Houston came and beat them. And gosh, that was a real letdown. But here they are. It's harder than heck to go back to back. So here they are tonight. And it's been, I think, 103 years since the Boston Red Sox and the Dodgers have played each other. There were different names back then, but it was with, I think, Babe Ruth and all that. But it was like, I think, 1918 or 1915 or something, or whatever it was. I'm not good at those numbers, but it's something. It's been over 100 years since they've actually played in the World Series against each other. And it's pretty. Yeah,
it's going to be a great game. And this is going to be tough for me because, as you mentioned, I did graduate Boston University. So I am a fan of both the Dodgers and the Red Sox. So we'll see how this plays out.
That's so cool. I know. I seen that, and that's awesome. Boston's got some great schools out there. And my dad is born and raised in Boston, so I kind of like Boston too. But I'm Dodgers. They're here, our home team, and I'm more of an Angel fan to tell you the truth. But they're horrible.
Uh-oh.
So I'm jumping on your bandwagon a little bit. But
okay.
No, that's so cool. And then heck, LeBron being there. I mean, LA's such a magnet. I mean, the seats that you used to be able to get for like $1,000 or now like everything's double. It is so crazy.
I believe it.
They had the lead singer of the Chili Peppers the other night on their first home game Saturday night, Clytus or whatever his name, lead singer. He got thrown out of the game after Paul from Houston got in a fight with Rondo and Ingram, and they both got suspended a couple of games. But what a great, exciting thing. They lost the game, but LeBron, they're 0-3 so far, but they should have won last night. And they were up by 1 point with an overtime, and LeBron went up and missed 2 free throws at the end. And then he had a chance at the very last shot, a 22-footer fadeaway, and he missed it, clanked it. And so they're 0-3, but it's going to take some time to rebuild this team. You can't expect it instantly. So, but that's pretty amazing though. But all right, man, that's enough of the sports. Let's dental up, Dr. DuShane. And
all right, sounds good.
Okay, so tell me, why did you get into dentistry, and at what point did you think I want to be a dentist?
Can you believe it that I told my mom at age 7 that I wanted to be a dentist?
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, and I have children now that are 10 and 11, and I can't imagine them knowing at this young age what they want to do for their career.
Oh, can you?
And I don't know why back then, but somehow it stuck with me. And when I was in high school, I had braces. So I went to visit my orthodontist. He sat me down and he had this sketch of my profile and of my face, where my teeth were positioned, where the problems were. And he had this plan of how we're going to get from point A to point Z. And I just found it fascinating.
Oh, that's so cool.
So for some time, I thought I wanted to be an orthodontist. When I went to dental school, that's what I thought I wanted to do. And once I got into my clinical portion of my training, this whole world opened up to me with restorative dentistry.
That's so
and
cool.
So it was at that point I realized, I don't want to specialize in orthodontics, but I really want to do more than move teeth. So that's where I fell into being a restorative dentist.
Unbelievable. And the hundreds of dentists that I've interviewed on these podcasts, no one's been there at 7 years old, man. You win the medal. That's the earliest.
It is rare, that is for sure.
That's so cool, man. I was like 8th grade, so I was like 12, 13 when I knew I was going to be a dental tech. My brother was going to dental school, and I'd help him in the summers. And I wasn't real smart in school. I was real good in sports, but he said, "Sean, you could be a dental tech." So I kind of knew at that age, but 7, man, that's pretty neat. That's destiny, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Meant to be.
That's so cool. So tell me, where did you attend school? Where'd you go to college for dental school and stuff? Tell me a little bit about that, if you could.
Well, I grew up in Los Angeles, and I wanted to go to school on the East Coast. So that's where I started. I started in Boston at Boston University.
All right.
Of all things, I majored in chemistry.
No kidding.
I was always drawn to science. After Boston University, I went to dental school for 4 years at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. That was a great experience. I couldn't say I could live there.
Yeah.
It was a great city to experience. Too cold for me, but fantastic education. And then I came back to Los Angeles because this is where my family is, where I grew up. So I wanted to keep near my roots. And I attended 1 year at UCLA doing an advanced general residency.
Okay.
And when you do dental school, it's a lot of didactic, a lot of, especially the University of Pennsylvania, they really train you with a pretty solid medical background.
Yes.
And I wanted more practice. So I felt that doing a residency would give me the confidence that I needed before going into private practice.
No kidding. Was Ed McLaren at UCLA when you were there?
He was. Yes, absolutely.
That's so. I've had Ed at my lab doing lectures, and I always kind of give him shit because his last name is McLaren, and I had a McLaren at the time, and I'm like, dude, I got a McLaren, and my name isn't even McLaren. Do you got one? He's like, no, Sean. He goes, I want to be a dental tech. But he's a real master when it comes to ceramics. I mean, he's probably one of the best talents when it comes to stacking porcelain out there, with all dental techs. I mean, and he's a freaking dentist, man. I can't believe it. He's
absolutely.
I think he's at Alabama now. Can you believe that? He went from UCLA. Now he's the head dude at Alabama, and Alabama's got so much money out there. I mean, they're just their football team does, but I'm sure the university does too. But he's got to be kicking his heels up being out there. Maybe not.
Yeah, absolutely.
He doesn't have Hollywood and the beaches and all the SoCal lifestyle. He's in Alabama at the end of the day, so I don't know if the money will help.
But he's got his ceramics, so
yeah, he can sit in that back room, stack crowds all day. No, that's pretty cool, man. So UCLA, pretty cool. Tell me a little bit about UCLA, though. What any takeaways that you liked, didn't like?
It's different when you're doing a residency. I feel you're a little less engaged in the college life. You're really there to focus and hone in on why you're there. So, compared to college, undergraduate versus your dental school, you're really engaged in the campus, you're engaged in the school. Whereas AEGD, it was just kind of, commuting, attending during the day, learning what I needed to learn, and then going home.
Absolutely. How long did it take you to get home from UCLA to get to your house? How long?
I've always lived in, Los Angeles. There's tons of traffic everywhere all the time. And I feel pretty fortunate because where I've lived and either gone to school or or have my practice, I've always had a very short commute. So I don't know, maybe maximum 20 minutes, which for LA is pretty darn good.
That's so neat. Because I know LA, man, you could live 3 miles from work and still take a half an hour because it's just gridlock. But you get certain times that, it hits really bad and you get that down after a while. Well,
I feel bad. Sometimes I'm sitting there, not in much traffic, but you see these bird scooters go by or bicycles, and they're making it faster than the cars are.
I know. That's so crazy. I remember we went to this Indy 500 last year, and we were in this 5-mile line inside the place, and everyone had their little scooters and all that stuff. It literally took us 2 hours to get in, and all these guys on the scooters, and the ones that were even walking, they parked outside of the venue, and it's just so smart because once you get in gridlock, there ain't no turning around. It's like, if you only knew, but that was a little off the wall. Just my little, that's the last time I was in gridlock that I can remember, but that's pretty cool. So tell me a little bit about, did you start out as an associate or did you purchase practice? Tell me a little bit about how you started off when you first got out of dental school and everything.
Okay, when I graduated the AEGD, I was fortunate enough to land in a practice.
Okay.
It was a bit of a commute for me. It was 45 minutes to an hour south of Los Angeles in traffic, a place called Harbor City. And the practice had been there for many, many years, since about the 50s. And it was a larger practice where there were several specialists, orthodontists, oral surgery, pediatric dentists, and then a number of general dentists. So I was there as an associate for about 10 years. And it's just interesting how life takes you sometimes where you least expect it. Mm-hmm. Although I knew at 7 I wanted to be a dentist, I never knew or thought about having my own practice because it's really a separate and big responsibility beyond the dentistry. So I loved working at Harbor Dental Associates because I really built up my speed, my skill. I kind of had a lot of autonomy, and I was really building my practice within the practice.
You probably did get in the trenches, got so much different experience with all the different specialists. And I've had a lot of guys that kind of went that route where 7 to 10 years plus in an associate setup. But it's the best thing in the world, setting them up for ownership on their own. I mean, instead of going in straight in out of school to own something, I think you did get a ton of probably great practical experience for sure.
Yeah, I loved it. And then circumstance just put me in the position of eventually leaving there and starting my own practice. So you asked me if I purchased a practice. I did not. I took a big leap and started Duchene Dental Arts 5 years ago. So 2013, with not a patient to begin. Dentistry, especially cosmetic dentistry, really is a combination of science and art. It requires both skill sets.
Yes.
So I thought Duchene Dental Arts really fits the description.
My youngest son kind of came up with a name when I was first starting off. And it was kind of cool. It was and since then I remember when we were first doing the dental conventions, we do the Yankee show and we do the Chicago Midwinter, and they'd come by us and they go, "Do you do art work or what do you do?" And I'm like, "No," because we had all these pictures and of families and not really dentistry, just people smiling. And so we got a lot of static on that. And then we kind of switched up our booth, premier dental laboratory, full service, so we kind of had to steer them. And then even too, with Google searches and all that stuff, dental arts doesn't really, you got to put lab in there to get that algorithm to reach it. So it is what it is, but everything happens for a reason. And I'm sticking with the name, but that's
love it.
And it's great because, you got your name behind it. It brands yourself. I did the same thing, and it's pretty neat, man. It's just awesome. And we do it's artistry all day long for sure. And it's just, it's kind of a neat thing, but that's awesome. So tell me a little bit now. What I really like is, man, you're in Hollywood, baby. That's just beautiful out there. What's it like in West Hollywood, man? Is that for Praxton? Is that you got the Hollywood Hills? You got everything right there. And just what about you ever ate at Craig's out there at all? I always wanted to go.
That's place that I drive by every day on my way home, and I think every drive, I thought, I got to go there, and I still haven't been there. Have you been?
Yeah, no, I have, but I want to because I just hear that it's got the greatest food, but then not that, I'm starstruck or anything, but all the big time stars go there, and it's not to be, I don't think it's to be recognized, it's because they got good food, and I'm a foodie. I just love good food, good places to eat, but I heard Craig's is just the bomb when it comes to food, and a pretty neat place, like all the big wigs and stars are there and all that stuff. But heck, I know it's right there in your backyard, man. You got to go by there sometime and say, hey.
I know.
They're gonna.
But you're right.
They're gonna think you're one of these blonde superstar Hollywood actresses or something, man. They'll let you right in, but a guy like me, they'll say, "Sir, wait in the line." I'll be like Doug Heffernan and the King of Queens trying to get in, and no, they only let the girls in, and Doug had to wait in the back. No,
but it's interesting. So one thing that always catches my eye is that they got the big paparazzi, whether it's on that side of the street or across the street. That whole little strip on, I think it's called Melrose Place.
Yes.
Yeah, always an eyeful as I'm driving home.
Yeah, and I guess there's a certain way back alley you can get out. When you exit, you kind of go out a back way or something. I'm not sure. I got some friends that live out there, and they're like, Sean, we got to go. You'd love it. And I hate driving out to L.A. It's far from me. I mean, I'm down almost on the edge of San Diego down to Dana Point, but it's just like it's a drive down there, and you got to go at the right time of day. Otherwise, it could be a 2-3 hour trip. I'm not into that.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear you.
I could be in Chicago on a plane at that much time. No. But, okay, I'll shut up here for a little bit. Let's talk about you again. So tell me about a little bit of your layout of your practice, and tell me what kind of staff you got working there.
I have the most amazing staff, and I couldn't do what I do without them.
Awesome.
Being in a practice, it's a team effort. So
Yes.
Everyone has their role to play, but we all come together to make it a comprehensive type of office.
Beautiful.
It's small. Although I came from a large associate position with lots of operatories, lots of exam rooms, my office is very small.
Okay.
So we have 4 rooms. We really only use 3. I'm never hopping between patients. I want my patient in the chair to have my 100% undivided attention. So it's really small, cozy. We like to provide a really friendly atmosphere. A lot of people don't like going to the dentist. So we try to change that experience for people and make it more positive.
That's awesome. You doing any fluff like earphones, headphones, and
Hey, we do. Yes.
TV up in the sky, and
Yeah, exactly. And we find that people really like that. It just helps them tune out and not focus so much on what we're doing, but just helps their mind to focus on something else. And it tunes out the sound of our instruments, right?
Yes.
The sound of the drill that sometimes brings bad association with it. So I find that really helps.
Oh, it's so neat. I got my dentist, and he gives that little rubber block that he puts in your mouth, so you don't have to worry about holding it. Is it open? Is it open? It's just so relaxing nowadays, and that's awesome. I love it when I hear practices doing that. Now, when you said with your staff, like you're as good as your staff, you really take care. What do you guys do to help your staff? Do you guys do team meetings, or do you do get-togethers, or anything about you and your staff?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a big believer we all need someone to look up to and inspire us and drive us forward. So I do have a dental consultant. Her name is the amazing Melanie Clark. And I have another colleague who introduced me to her. She is my practice consultant. So she comes to the office once a month, and we have group discussion. There's no fixed agenda. It's really just to focus on how can we provide better patient care? What can we be doing differently? How can we change this or that? Or what are we doing well? What do we want to keep doing? So we meet together as a group. We meet together one-on-one. She's fantastic. I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for her.
God, that's so cool. And you need that. I mean, I did that with, we had a thing called tech, and it was just, you get together with business owners once a month, and then once a month they come, the head guy will come to your, practice or whatever your business is, and work with you for 2 or 4, or the whole day it was once a month with everyone for a whole day, and then a couple hours with a guy one-on-one. But I did that 4 or 5 years, and you can never get enough input on how to better run a company. And I grew with that, doing that. And I think it's important. Dentists need that, not only for that practice management part of it, you need, even on the CE, getting the right people there, continuously, learning and bettering yourself, especially in their starting off. I mean, those first 10, 20 years, you should just bust your butt and learn everything you can. And then kind of cruise 20 to 30, and from 30 to 40, try to keep that business. I always kind of kid around. The first 10 years, I didn't make any money. The 10 to 20, I started making, some money. And then 20 to 30, you try to keep your business. And 30 to 40, you try not to lose it. No, it's never ending. You just got to always keep kind of pushing it and keeping your eye on the big picture for sure. But and
what's great about my consultant is that she's also a relationship coach or a life coach. So she brings with her experience, because in a business, that's a lot about what it is, right? It's relationships. Yeah. We're building relationships with our clients, our patients. So she has a heavy focus on that as well.
Oh, it's so cool. No, it is so, and even with your staff, you're with those guys longer and more than you're with your family all day,
That's right.
8+ hours. And it's like, you really got to come together, and, it's important that, you come together and kind of get along, and it's your company. So, I mean, if you have a bad seat or someone that's not fitting in, I'm sorry, you're just not fitting in. We're going to have to find someone that does. But more so than not, it's pretty neat. Like even here, we don't have people that want to leave us because they love it. we want to stay here, and it's best. It's kind of like that football team or that baseball team in the World Series, when you have the same people doing the same thing over and over. You get really good at it. And so you're like playoff bound every day. Every patient's like you're in the Super Bowl. And it's just something when you have the staff that's been with you so long, kind of like New England Patriots with Brady and Belinda, the coach, and, and the other guys, it's just a cohesive unit. And so when you have your staff that is happy, when you take care of them, treat them like family, pay them good, everything works better, and it's just so much more easier, and it's more predictable, and it's very rewarding. So I love it when I see people trying to really work with their staffs and try to make, bring people in to help them all just have better peace of mind and come together and work together. That's really neat, Dr. DuShane. I love hearing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, cool. So tell me, what's some of the favorite procedures you like doing? What do you like doing? What don't you like doing in dentistry? Tell me what you maybe outsource a little bit if you don't, feel comfortable or don't have the time. Tell me a little bit about that if you could.
Sure. I love to spend my time doing cosmetic dentistry, specifically veneers. I love working with ceramic. I find it really fascinating. I've been in practice now. I graduated about 15 years ago, and within this 15 years, just been such a shift, a change, and evolution of dental materials, just giving people better and better results. So I love doing veneers. I feel it can be life-changing for patients. People that are not happy with their smile, they might not smile as much, or they might hold their lip posture a little differently, and it affects their happiness, it affects their self-esteem.
Absolutely.
So by providing an improved smile, it really changes people's lives, and it's really, really rewarding.
Oh, it so is, and especially too because we've done a gazillion veneers, it's tailored off in the last several years with the economy and people not having as much money as they did back in the day, but we used to do a ton of veneers, and it's just especially the no prep or the very minimal prep, when you got like diastemas and just spaces where you can go in and give a little finish line down there at the gingival and interproximally or a little whatever, and wrap it, and keep the enamel on the cingulums where you're, in the centric and all that stuff. And you could do these cases pretty darn quick. And we love, we have one dude here. He's the only one that can do them, but we do the feldspathic veneers also. We don't do a lot, but they're the foil veneers, man. We used to do them out of palladium, but palladium went to the roof. Now we use platinum, but now we use palladium foil. But they're you can get those down 3/4 tenths, and you can even mask out, dark dentin of, stump shades, and we use the Nortaki ceramic from Japan, and the Nortaki, man, the EX3 is just unbelievable. But we do a ton of Emax veneers and love them. We can do the cutback layered, micro layer on the size of ledges, get some nice trans and halo effect. But I tell you, man, the veneers are neat, and I think I learned them way back in the day. Bill Strepp was into that stuff. Him and his gold and his feldspathic crowns, man, and he'd keep everything super gingival, and it's just amazing, what you can do. And I had one Korean dude, he's like 40 years doing them, and he's just a wizard. And the dude can it's great. I love him, but we don't do as many as we used to. We used to do a ton of them, 10 up top, 10 below, and just do the buccal veneering of the premolars, just so we build out that buccal profile, so it doesn't get lost behind 6 and 11. So many times you see 6 and 11, then it trails off at 12 and 13 or 4 and 5. It's like, dude, and you don't need to go and crown that whole thing, man. You just do a buccal veneer on that, and bomb that thing on, and it's just so beautiful, and all the functions still in place with the natural enamel, but neat stuff. So you like doing veneers. What about endo? You doing endo, or you passing on?
Yeah, so I am I rely a bit heavily on my specialists. I really
good. No, that's good.
Well, it's interesting because I feel like a lot of people in practice, they just want to keep the business in-house. And sure, financially, that's great, but I would rather focus in on what I love, because then I do better at it and attract more of that, and then count on my specialists to provide an equal amazing service for the endodontics, for the root canals, or for the oral surgery. I'm not a one-stop shop. I have my specialty, my area of focus, everything else I refer out.
Awesome. Heads on straight, girl. You're going to last forever in this field. No, I'm telling you, I do have a lot of guys and girls that want to be MacGyver and try to do everything. And you know what? It's just better be 100% on what you're doing and your time efficiency and everything else. And I have one doctor always say, his thing is, I wouldn't even do it on my wife. Now, if I'm not going to do it on my wife, why would I do it on you? Let's go to a specialist. This guy can do it for you, and he'll do it right, and blah, 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 and all that. So it's kind of neat. What about any implants? You thought about sinking any implants, pulling back flap and drilling some implants into the skull there, or no?
No, I don't. I definitely restore them. I love working with, different abutments and designs and whatnot for restoring implants, but not the surgery. That I, again, referring out. Although my husband would love me to do something like that, but I'm like, you're not the one in here doing this stuff. It's got to be me. So
he wants you to do it because what? More money, or just because?
I guess so. That, and he's telling me you should consider Invisalign, but he did push me to get the new a new digital scanner, which I'm very happy about, which I've sent cases to you for, the trios, the 3 shape.
Oh, yeah, that's it. I knew that you had. That's so cool, man. Oh, the trios. And I love True Def. The 3M people are so nice to us. I got a 3M unit here, and they're great. And, the iTero is good. But, man, I've had a 3-shape scanner in my lab for almost 10 years, and I've bought many more of them, and they're just so sharp. I had the head CEO in here working with us, but Trios, man, that just rock and rolls, and you're top the line, girl. I'm glad you didn't go cheap. You went to the Rolls Royce of scanners, man. And I'm telling you, man, it's instant. We get that instant, and it's so freaking accurate. That's awesome, man. Good for you. Look at you biting off that scans. Are we doing a model list for you yet, or what?
Not yet. I'm getting there. I'm still just getting my comfort level, and then I hope to phase out of the models.
I'm telling you, man. I did a old Jack Ringer, past president of the AACD, did my bridge here on the lower left, and we just like, Sean, let's just cut I had this old little bridge, 18, 19, 20, 19 was a Ponic, whatever, and back in the day, they had to extract teeth because we had no money. And my mama said, how much to extract it? They said it's like $12 or whatever, or $20 or something. That was back in the 70s, but it was pull the tooth. So I had to put a bridge in there when I got older. But we did this thing, no models, nothing. And literally the next day or 2 days later, we went and put it in. 3-point custom fossa. We pulled it 2 tapes out of occlusion on the model work. I looked at it because I didn't want to adjust it. And we went to the mouth with no adjustments. And that thing, and I even put one of my Bruxer aesthetics and I'm kind of a grinder, but it's strong. I mean, it's 750 megapascals of flexural strength. So we put that in my lower left quad, man, and I've been almost a year now, and it's just freaking, I love it. It's just like, it's so amazing, man, how we even have models. It's so nuts.
Unbelievable how technology.
It just really is coming so far, and, to have our techs just really dialed in, some labs are trying to do it, and just being a middleman and really don't have any technology behind them, or, just knowing dentistry and teeth and, Curva B, Curva Wilson's, lateral excursions, the whole thing, contact circles. And we do. I mean, most of our techs are certified dental techs, and we get at it where, the units are fabricating them, but we have to grind them in, glaze them, and make sure contours are perfect. But it's such a neat thing, man. I mean, it was so hard to stack crowns back in the day. I remember when I was around, it was like, to build up a crown, it would take me like 10, 15 minutes. And then my boss got me on the egg timer. We'd get the egg timer so we could do it in 6 minutes. And after a while, you do it over and over. You got it down to 6 minutes, and then you built it up perfectly where you're not grinding away all your incisals. And it's it took 10 years of, 8-hour days to master it, and a long time. And it's still, and I wasn't really the master of it. It was hard, and there's some people so talented. Now we have these libraries of anatomy, and it fits in perfectly with adjacent teeth and what opposes it on the occlusion. And the software is just so amazing, and it's just so much more predictable dentistry nowadays. And with the strength of this new zirconia that's becoming very, very aesthetic, it's a game changer for sure. So that's really, really cool.
Love it. It keeps us both excited about what we do.
Yeah, I'm getting excited just talking about it, man. I'm ready to go, baby. Come on. No. Okay. So tell me, what has been your marketing strategy? What do you do to drive patients to your practice? Are you doing kind of like mailers, any social media? You work in the public sector. Tell me a little bit about how you drive people to your practice.
So let's see, I started my practice 5 years ago, and being from LA, I reached out to all my family, all my friends, told them I was starting a business, and that's where it started.
No kidding.
And then I signed up for a few PPO dental insurance plans to drive a little foot traffic.
Okay.
And I had joined a networking group called BNI, Business Network International.
Okay.
And they have a handful of chapters in Los Angeles. The intention is to get together with the same group of people every week. Each person represents a different profession, and you support each other. You give word of mouth referrals. So it's a referral-based networking group. And I did that for about a year, but then unfortunately my chapter dissolved.
Okay.
So but got some really reliable patients. And then again, having been here, I just started to network with some of my specialists. So I sometimes would get referrals from my specialists. Now I have a solid enough base that I really focus mostly on internal marketing. So really loving on our amazing patients, the ones that we really like, and ask them for referrals from friends or family, anyone looking for a dentist.
Perfect.
And I find that those are the most reliable long-term patients.
Yes. You and every other dentist that I've talked to, that really is. It's the best way to get business. It's from excited, happy people that have already worked with you, and there's nothing better, and it's free, and maybe you give them a Starbucks card or a Visa card or whatever. Maybe it's a handwritten note. Different offices do different things.
Right.
But that's awesome, man. I really love hearing that. And that's
so nowadays there's, sites like Yelp where people will write kind reviews, and then that brings you up in the ranking, and it draws attention. And social media, definitely. I have my office Facebook and Instagram page. And when I created it, it's really just for a landing spot for people that want to validate you and learn a little bit about your office. So just kind of post stuff, personal stuff, post, dentistry that we've done. It's a kind of nice blend representing how people would feel if they come into the office.
That's so cool. You need to do a little video, a viral video like that one dentist did, dancing to Drake, man. We'd rather see a girl dancing to Drake than that guy.
You're giving me some ideas. All right.
No, that's it's just that that guy blew up for just a little 30-second or 20-second. He did it when his staff left because he was embarrassed to dance in front of them. Shit, you get me out there dancing, they would like, turn that thing. We don't want to look at this dude. But that guy was a pretty good looking dude. I'm just saying. He was a tall, dark, bodybuilding type dentist, and he didn't look like most dentists. He looked like he was a model, like Fabio's dark-haired brother. Not that you even know who Fabio is. He's probably that kind of.
Of course I do. The blonde, long-haired guy, right?
Yeah, that's it. I got that from my wife's books. That's it.
Okay, right.
That's funny. Well, man, so what are your thoughts on the new technology? I know you got a scanner. You thinking about anything else, cone beamish, or well, you're not really going to sync the implants. What other piece of equipment are you eyeing? Anything out there in the future? Or, I think you look pretty good what you got going right now. But any other thoughts on what you might want to pick up in the practice?
Yeah, I mean, maybe on the horizon, maybe a mill for some small cases here or there. But my philosophy, like relying on my specialists, is I also value my lab.
Yeah, thank you.
I also don't want to be doing a lot of, I don't want to become the lab technician. You're the expert in that area, not me.
Yes.
But just something it's interesting to kind of keep an eye, see what's out there. But I love my scanner, and I love the work that you're doing for me, so I appreciate that. That's
so cool, man. I love that. Tell me a little bit about, do you do any dental conventions or gatherings? Do you just stay to the local, the CDA in Anaheim, or do you go to the one in San Francisco, or do you go out of state ever for some of your CE?
Yeah, I do a lot. Yes, all the above. I think that being good at what you do requires ongoing education. We can never get stale, especially as our industry is always changing. So it starts on a local level. I have some specialists that I work with that'll have small gatherings every so many months.
Okay.
I belong to the Beverly Hills Academy of Dentistry, which gets together a few times out of the year. Then I belong to Spear Education.
Oh, okay, cool.
You might be familiar with them. They have Frank Spear has his headquarters out in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yes.
So at least annually, I go to a big meeting in Arizona. Of course, the LA, Dental Society and the CDA, all the above. And I love the CDA because you get to walk around, see all the new products on the market. It just keeps you inspired.
That's
so
cool. Yeah, we love Spear. We love Coy's too. John Coy's I've had actually out here at my lab and done lectures like for 100 dentists. And John's the man. Coy's great, but and him and Spear used to be partners back in the day, and then they split up and did their own thing. But I know, guy, I seen that you did something in Tarzana. I had a dentist, Samir Puri, used to live out there and have a practice. And do you know Samir at all?
Name sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, he's a big CEREC guy, and he teaches out at Scottsdale with Spear and stuff. But, yeah, he was in Tarzana. I remember he had a big old house he built, and then he moved, and he's in Scottsdale now. He went from L.A. to the desert, but Scottsdale's pretty big time nowadays. They got some big companies, and, other than the 120-degree weather in the summertime, I think it's pretty neat. in the desert, they got pools, I guess, but you can't go surfing.
You just got to plan your trip at the right time of year, right? Or if you're a golfer or you like to get out and do some sports, I know that's some nice golf resorts out there.
Oh, yeah. I go out there every year to the Barrett Jackson. Me and my wife, we just go out there and stay down there at the Princess Hotel, and it's right on a golf course.
Yes,
and,
exactly. That's where I stay for the Spear seminars.
Yeah.
So much fun.
It's so neat. And then they got the little little cars that take you into the little town, and you just walk. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a neat place. But again, golf, and I can't golf at 100 degrees. My course is on the beach, man. I was like, I love that little ocean breeze, but I'm a little heavy, man. You run hot in that 100 plus degree, and I'm swinging for the freaking woods. I'm not that great of a golfer. Swinging for the fence every time. It's like, dude, just take half that swing off, buddy, and it goes better. But I try to kill it every time. Here I go off on a rant again. Okay, so what else do you think? What do you do when you're not working, Doctor? Tell me a little bit about that.
When I'm not working, I love to spend time with my family. So I'm a big believer in balance as much as I can, right? Being in a dental practice, a business owner, you're always thinking about stuff. So I like to balance work with my family. I have 2 daughters that are 10 and 11 and an awesome husband. I've got a dog, so I like to take the dog on walks.
Yeah.
What
kind of dog you got there?
She's a mix. We rescued her about 3 years ago. She's a little Dachshund Terrier. She's the best. My sister says she swears she's part cat because she's really mellow and she'll sit on your lap. And I read a study or an article recently that talks about how pets are really good for your health. They lower your blood pressure. They decrease anxiety.
Yes.
So we have had the dog for 3 years, and then my 2 kids said to me, Mom, we want hamsters, we want birds. And they kept nagging me, so I gave in. So now we have a house full of many pets.
Like Dr. Doolittle's house, man.
Oh, it's crazy.
That's cool. In a couple of years, those girls are going to say they don't want those hamsters. They want boyfriends. You're going to go, no, stay in the house and play with those hamsters, man. You're not leaving this house. I know Mr. Duchene is going to be saying, no, he's going to be sitting there with a shotgun. That's awesome, man. So what are some of the do's and don'ts in the profession you could kind of tell some of our younger people starting off, say it's starting to practice? What are some of the do's and don'ts you think you could tell us?
I think you just kind of have to stick to your vision and not be discouraged, because I will never forget the day that I started my practice. I joined this building and someone said to me, wow, you're starting your own practice, like in this area. And it sounded so discouraging. And I thought, why is he telling me this? So I have always tried to put the blinders on and not worry about the person down the hall, up the street. I feel if you're passionate about what you do and you're good at what you do, that things fall into place. So just to follow your passion and your dream and just don't give up, because it definitely will test you occasionally, and to just never give up.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, man, you just got it rolling and rocking and rolling, man. And I just, I'm in awe of you, man. I just think you got a great practice going. And it's so young starting off, and you're fresh, and you just got a good attitude. And I just think, I think you're going to be very successful going. You're already successful. I just think you got great things ahead of you, man. And, I'm going to work hard to show you what we can do and everything else for sure. But we'd love to have you down too. We have some different seminars, and you're just down the road.
Love that.
Yeah, we'd love to have you down and come see our facility. And yeah, we'll get you down to Disney. Didn't you bring your staff? You were telling me a little bit earlier. What did you do? You got a team building thing or something with your staff? What you end up doing there?
We did. We went to Disneyland. We had so much fun.
Oh, that's so cool. I love Disneyland.
I had Joey, my office manager, had me going on Splash Mountain, which gives me such anxiety going down that final drop with the splash. But I said, I'm going to do this for you. And we had a blast.
Oh, that is so cool. My favorite one is the Radiator Springs, man, where they got the little cars over there in California Adventure.
Right.
Oh, that's so cool. And it's pretty cool. You can get beers now and everything. Before, I used to have to go to Club 33. My brother-in-law got me into that. He's a big Armenian waste disposal company guy. I don't know how they got it. I don't know, but we got to Club 33 all the time. And that's the only place you could get alcohol in Disneyland. And so it was the hot spot for us Irish.
I didn't even know about that. I thought it was only California Adventure. So
yeah, no, it's a secret little door. It's like a private membership. This Club 33 is ridiculously expensive, but so we don't do that anymore. But we go to California Adventure, and they got all these little spots now, and we actually have something. They're redoing a lot of it next year, and it's just like they're taking some things out, and I'm involved with this company that has pre-made drinks, and we actually got that contract over there at Disney, and it's kind of an exciting thing called Blue Marble Cocktails, and they're pre-mixed, and we got picked up by Disney. Thank you, Lord. Woohoo! I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying that, but who cares? I think it'll be all right. Maybe not.
I don't know what parent doesn't want to drink at the end of a long day at Disneyland.
Oh, I tell you, those little kids driving you crazy and screaming, and no, it's kind of neat, and the way you can go between each park. But that's so cool. You bring your staff out there and team building and stuff like that. That's what it's all about. I mean, I know some staffs will take them to the Angel game, or in your guys' situation, you got the Dodgers out there, and I think it's so important because at the end of the day, I don't care if you're a plumber, a painter, a lawyer, or whatever profession you're in, you're only as good as your people, and you got to take care of them. You take care of them, and they'll come back tenfold for you, and you take care of your patients. Like me, we take care of our doctors, and it's so easy. It's just basic golden rule type stuff. But I tell you, if you just do that in anything, it will come back to you. It takes time. It can't just be, it's not on your time, it's on his time. So you just got to keep your faith and keep doing the right thing, and good things will happen. And I know they're happening for you guys at Duchene Dental Arts out there in West Hollywood, California. Well, hey, get out there, cut us some more crowns, baby, and send them on over digitally.
I sure will. Absolutely.
Dr. DuShane, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. If there's anything I can ever do, please let me know. And it's great talking. At 7 years old, you knew you were going to be a dentist. I love that.
That's a long time ago.
Hey, it's destiny, man. That's so cool. And I think next time we'll talk, you probably have another practice, man. And you have one over in Bel Air, one in Beverly Hills, and one in West Hollywood. Hey, it's just working smarter, not working any harder. You won't work any harder, but it's just your husband will be running the business part of it, man. Just have him do the books and keep an eye on it, and you just do the teeth and do, the dentistry. No, it's a neat thing. But
yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, hey, again, thank you so much, doctor, and it's great talking to you. We'll talk to you real soon.
Okay, thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Thanks for joining us on the Dental Up Podcast Show this week. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or search the Dental Up Podcast on iTunes for our weekly feed. Don't forget to visit KeatingDentalArts.com/promo for exclusive offers. Keating Dental Arts is a full-service dental laboratory, and we're nationwide. We'd love for you to send us a case so we can show you the Keating difference. If you dig what you heard, please leave a review on iTunes, and we'll be back next week.